Marcus Stroman and Gerald Reddington are going to make up the front row for race number 1. The cars are lined up on the grid, waiting for the green. And we are off in the very first standing start in HARC Pro Series history. Gerald Reddington, what a start compared to Marcus Stroman. Stroman's having some trouble getting up through the gears here, and they stack up behind him on the inside line. William Duncan peeks out 3 wide for just a moment. Cameron Gaddu sitting right on his back bumper, and Sidney Cross and Tyler Markell slip into second and third, clipping a little bit of the grass there. Still racing on some cold tires. Nicholas Samadillo and Marcus Stroman continue to battle for 4th position. Sam Morrow trying to get into it, but Samadillo is going to get 4th as we head out of the S's onto the back straight. The battle for 2nd is on now between Sidney Cross and Tyler Markell. Sidney Cross tries to block Tyler Markell down the back straightaway. He gets a run into the inner loop, runs a little bit wide, gets a little bit oversteery there, ends up in the grass. Whoa, gets a little bit airborne there, and makes some contact with Sam Morrow, but they all save it. Incredible job by these rookies on their very first lap of Watkins Glen here. Things are still side by side around the midfield onto the second lap. We're still battling as if we just started here. Zachary Fitzwater battling with TJ Denton, Mark Nutt down the back straightaway. Prudence Littlejohn takes a look on, I believe that's Terrence Day. Yes, it is. Terrence Day manages to slip back in front. TJ Dent now trying on the outside, weaving all over the place, going into the outer loop here. TJ Dent takes a little bit of a peek, is not going to be able to challenge for now. Marcus Stroman continuing to fall back in the 66, now being overtaken by the 75 of Michael Cain for, I believe that's 9th place. What a horrible start it's been for Marcus Stroman, going from 1st to 10th in just 3 laps. Cameron Gaddu sitting there racing with Johnny Appleseed and Terrence Day as Ilya Bondarenko has cracked the top 10 and is making his way towards the top 5. On board DJ Curtis here as they go through turn 8, also known as the toe, part of the boot section of the course that has never been raced on in a HARC Pro Series event before. So not even the veterans are gonna know this part of the track very well. Gerald Reddington has so far been setting a blistering pace in the 112. Average speed of this race so far 106 miles an hour. Sidney Cross is sitting about a second back in the 21 car, battling with Nicholas Samadillo, who's gotten by Sam Morrow and Tyler Markell, who's fallen back well back. Oh, William Duncan runs wide, similarly to Tyler Markell, gets way up into the air. Michael Cain and Cameron Gaddu make a little bit of contact, but they all manage to keep it together again. That is impressive stuff by these drivers, by these the race 1 drivers here. Is Johnny Appleseed and Cameron Gaddu battle for position now after that little squabble down into the outer loop. Nearly 15 seconds back from the leaders. We still have good battles going on. Pichu London and Shrimp Angritz battling for position, I believe that's around 25th. Matt Duncan now trying to get alongside Pichu London as they head out of the outer loop into the chute here that begins the boot section of the course. Tyler Thaber up from dead last to around 27th so far. He has the potential to be the hard charger of the race at this pace. Andrew Rick in the 23 up here as well. Matthew Stringer following behind these guys. Sidney Cross has held second position for the longest time. Now closing out on halfway. This time, actually, we're completing lap 10 of number 19 here, as Nicholas Samadillo is going to take second place if he can hold Sidney Crasta off in turn number 1 into the 90 now, and he grabs the position. Sidney Crasta did not put up too much of a fight there. We now do a flyby shot of the field as they come down into turn 8, the toe of this course in lap 12. Now, Gerald Reddington continues with the lead, a commanding lead that over Nicholas Samadillo. The rest of the field still relatively close together, but spread out over the course of about 20 seconds or so. Just 4 laps to go now, and you can tell the intensity level has really picked up around the midfield as Tyler Markell, Cameron Gaddu, and Prudence Littlejohn really battle for that 10th spot. Johnny Appleseed alongside Terrence Day for 13th, and TJ Dent sitting there, just waiting for one of them to make a mistake to try and gain some positions of his own. Worn tires is certainly not helping these driver situations as Jose Bautista runs slightly into the grass and ends up off the course in the outer loop. Nowhere to go but into the wall, just no grip out there. DJ Curtis is out there as well. Gets into the wall just a little bit, not nearly as hard as Jose Bautista. Gets in the back of Jose Bautista, though they're still battling, though for last place now. Last lap battles for around 25th here. Shrimp Engritz, Amin Al Ghul, and Matthew Nicholson battle for that position. Nicholson gets sent out wide and ends up in the wall. A bad ending for Nicholson's run today. He wasn't having that great of a run in the first place, but now he's almost certainly going to end up finishing dead last. Gerald Reddington's consistency has kept him up front all day, ahead of Nicholas Samadillo, Sam Morrow, and all the rest. And now he will come down to the start-finish line to claim his second victory of the season, second in a row actually, after winning New Jersey just a few weeks ago. Nicholas Samadillo, a close second in the 47 car, was beginning to close on the 112, but not nearly fast enough to challenge him for the victory today. Sam Morrow, third place, solid run for him. Sidney Krasta and Ilya Bonarenko round out the top 5. Ilya Bonarenko, the Russian, did very well today, gaining around 6 positions from going from outside the top 10 to inside the top 5. Marcus Stroman in the 66th, 6th place, made his way back up after that horrible start he had today. Cameron Gadou 7th. William Duncan finally gets a great run. His first top 20 in something like 12 races. Michael Caine and Prudence Littlejohn round out the top 10. Nick Pericles is on pole for the second race of round 5 here. James Silverfox is on his outside, waiting for the green once again here. And we are away. Nick Pericles gets a much better start than race 1 pole sitter Marcus Stroman did, that's for sure, as he takes the field down into turn number 1. James Silverfox is going to have a bit of a run off if he can get this corner right, and he does. Nick Pericles actually got into the curb a little bit, had to back off, and Silverfox is through to the lead. Bill Littlejohn into second, and Carlin Dumian slips into third. Pericles on his way back in a hurry, just like Marcus Stroman, as we've got a crash further down in the S's. John Morrison trying to pick up some positions very early on, makes it 3 wide down into the first parts of the S's, gets into the curb, slides up the track into Richard Cherlinsky and Luke Walker, taking them both into the wall. Chris Washer with nowhere to go as well. Washer's perhaps the only driver in the HARC Pro Series to have worse luck than William Duncan. And Washer's has just been continuous throughout his career. He's sitting at the very, in the tail end, the bottom 5 of the point standings this year, just as he finished last year. And yet again, it appears that he will not be finishing well today. Sam Curtis and Nick Pericles battling it out for 4th right now. Sam Curtis goes way off the road, and just like those before, he comes back on the track, but this time they do not save it, as Tristan Wilhoit ends up with terminal damage somehow at the end of that, as well as Jeffrey Fingai, who gets sent into the wall. He does not have terminal damage. It's weird how Wilhoit ended up with the most damage there, but either way, Wilhoit is going to be out of the race in dead last. Chris Washer and Sean Morrison came into the pits after their incident on lap 1. They are about a minute behind this main field. We go on board the 69 of Alex Wheeler now as he heads into the chute, turn 7, going after Jeff Derry currently for around 15th place, which is especially impressive considering he started 30th in the 15th row, and he's already made up 14 positions in just the first 4 laps. Impressive drive by the driver of that Jegs machine, driving for DJ Harris's team this year. Unlike race 1, the top 3 have not spread out whatsoever. Bill Littlejohn and Ryder Smith still all over the back of James Silverfox. Ryder Smith going for second on Bill Littlejohn right now. Now here comes Bill Littlejohn with a possible run on Silverfox. Silverfox throws the block a little bit there, holds the inside, and he will hold off the charge for now. Now Littlejohn goes for a pass on the outside, down into the toe. Turn 8. Ryder Smith, though, is not helping Bill Littlejohn at all with his efforts to get by Silverfox. Smith going for second place. In fact, might have a dive on Silverfox. Great racing up here in the top 3. Sam Curtis and Carlin Dumian came into the pits over the course of the last few laps. Not sure what for. They are both unscheduled, of course. No pit stops necessary in these races, as Sam Curtis merges just in front of another fallen comrade, Sean Morrison. The battle at the rear of the top 10 is quite an interesting one, with a mix of rookies and veterans alike here. We've got Julian Sanchez sitting in 6th position just behind Nick Pericles, whose teammate Ryder Smith is in the top 3. Great day for that team. Jacob Young and Mike Doan sitting 7th and 8th currently. Mike Doan is in 2nd in points, trying to advance his position in point standings to perhaps get the points lead for the first time in his career. Paulo Thanos and Alex Allen sitting closely behind them. J.R. Fitzpatrick, the points leader, of course, is having a great day just outside the top 10. Spencer Fullerton just behind him. A veteran, perhaps the greatest road courser in HARC Pro Series history. Well, maybe him or Damir Bejyanov. One of the two is certainly the greatest. Sawyer Girl is sitting in 12th, and Alex Wheeler continuing to make his way forward, closing in on the top 10 itself, getting by Jeffrey Finguy, who continues to race very hard, despite the fact that he has quite a bit of rear end damage. An incredible drive, considering the circumstances, for the driver of that number 20 machine. Bill Littlejohn has been itching to get by James Silverfox all race long, and now he finally makes his move down the back straightaway into the inner loop. Contact is usually made in this section of the course. Silverfox gives him lots of room, though, and Littlejohn will sweep into the lead. Silverfox maintains second. Ryder Smith tried to get by for that position. Some very respectful racing between Silverfox, the rookie, and Bill Littlejohn, who's classified as a rookie but is most certainly not. Probably the most experienced driver in the field, actually, in these type of cars. Has been racing in them since the 90s, got back into motorsport as of recently, decided to test out this series. And Bill Littlejohn certainly proving that no matter what type of track he goes to, he will be a contender. Ryder Smith with a problem in the number 7. He weaves it down to the inside. He's got a big problem in that number 7. It's something terminal, and he's just going to be barely cruising it around the track at 30 miles an hour, just barely past pit lane, and now he's going to have to go the whole 3.4 miles on the apron with whatever problem that may be troubling that number 7. And he was having a fantastic run today up inside the podium, and now it appears that he'll be delegated to a sub-30th place finish. Let's do a field flyby. Just a couple of laps to go now for these drivers. Bill Littlejohn and James Silverfox, certainly the class of the field. Brandon Krass has been trying to catch them in the 09 to no avail for the most part. DJ Harris and Andreas Allen have made their way into the top 20, along with Ophelia Ndumian, Daniel Voiles, and Ty Dent sitting just outside the top 20. White flag out for Bill Littlejohn, just 3 corners to go until he can claim his first victory in the HARC Pro Series. James Silverfox has been trying his best to close in on that number 30 to no avail so far. Still 5 car lengths back as we head into the final 2 corners. Bill Littlejohn taking it nice and easy, not the optimal line through that corner. Silverfox is going to have a run down into the final corner. Here he comes alongside the 30 and off of the corner. He's made it stick. Bill Littlejohn is going to have this one stolen from him in the final corner by the German James Silverfox. James Silverfox, a phenomenal effort to grab that position in the final few hundred meters of this one to claim his very first HARC Pro Series victory. Bill Littlejohn just behind in second. Brandon Crasta sitting in 3rd position, tried his best to catch up to those two, to no avail. Julian Sanchez sitting in 4th was closing in on Brandon Crasta, it appears. Nick Pericles and Alex Wheeler, 5th and 6th positions, up 24 spots for the 69 car in this race, 30th to 6th. Incredible drive, especially at a road course. Jacob Young in 7th, Paul Thanos rounds up the top 8, and Mike Doan and J.R. Fitzpatrick run nose to tail at the end of the line, as they do in the point standings, except reverse. Doan will still be in 2nd place in points, despite being ahead of Fitzpatrick, who will still be the points leader.